today. I'm going to actually start this off by turning it over to some of the community leaders from Northeast Queens before I even start to talk. So the first person who has to speak is Mel Siegel.
Hi, I'm Mel Siegel. I'm from the Flushing Homeowners Association, and we're here to support Paul in his race for the City Council. Nobody has done more to help preserve and protect this neighborhood than Paul, and we're delighted that he's running, and he has our full support.
Great. Pete?
Hi, I'm Graziano. I'm president of the Northeast Flushing Civic Association. In fact, the reason why I'm president of the Northeast Flushing Civic Association is because of Paul, who said you're going to do it. And he did it at a time when we really needed his help, because we were fighting a builder who was trying to destroy our neighborhood. And one of the reasons why we support Paul is because this is what is most important to him, is preserving our neighborhoods and making sure that builders don't go ruining good houses and destroying the property around here. So, and one of the things I like most about Paul is that he's not really a politician. He's a community activist, and that's what we need in this position. So we're very happy to support him.
Joe?
Oh.
Hi, I'm Joe Amoroso. I'm from the Casino Park neighborhood, just south of here. I have mixed emotions about Paul running for city council. I'm happy for the people that live in his district, but I'm not in his district, and that makes me unhappy. I know Paul since he was like in his 20s, many years ago. And he's always done work for all the communities, not just his own. He's well known all over Queens, Belrose, Jamaica, you name it. Everybody knows him, because he's not just out for his own community. He's trying to help everybody in all the communities in Queens. And as a city council member, he'd be able to do that, not just for here, but for everyone. And that's why I'd love to see him as the city council member. Thank you.
My name is Henry Euler. I'm first vice president of the Auburndale Improvement Association. My civic group does not endorse individual candidates, but we as individual leaders in the group would very gladly endorse candidates. And I am endorsing Paul Graziano for city council in the Democratic Party. I know most of the other candidates running, and it's very clear to me that Paul is the one that has done the most for our community. He works on not only zoning issues and landmarking issues, but he's also very good on all the other issues that confront our city. Education, transportation, equal rights, all of those issues are very important to Paul. And that's why I'm voting for Paul in the Democratic primary, as well as Tony Avella for borough president. Thank you.
Anybody else who'd like to say something? Okay.
Hi, my name is Graziano. I'm president of Next Gate Pacific Association. And I can say wholeheartedly that we've worked hand in hand with Paul on the front lines, in court, as well as within the community. He's done a lot to help preserve what we have in our community. And I myself, as well as a lot of our homeowners, definitely will support Paul come the fall. Thank you.
Thank you. The civic world. This is the people who actually work for their neighborhoods. These are the people who are in the front lines. These are the people who are dealing with the problems on an everyday basis. And I've been working with them for, in some cases, helping to create their organizations for actually 20 years now. I really started this in 1993. So basically, what I'd like to say very simply is that I am running for City Council for the 19th Council District. I am running a serious campaign. Obviously, having this kind of support behind me is fabulous. We have raised in less than a month $11,000, all small donations, almost all small donations, almost 10,000 of which will be matching as soon as I have the requisite number of donations from the district, which I have about 15 short at this point.
No lobbyists.
And yes, no lobbyists, no real estate developers, etc. I'm running a very specific kind of campaign. Everybody here knows what that is. So with that 10,000 that's matching so far, once I make the match, it's $60,000 in matching funds. So I essentially have about $71,000 as soon as I get those extra couple of donations, which should be by the end of the week. My campaign is very simple. Protect your neighborhood. Do no harm. And what that means, very simply, is that, and I've mentioned this to a number of people, it's hard for me to think about theoretical and esoteric problems when we've got problems at hand in the community. Right now we're standing on the edge of Bound Park, about 10 feet inside of the park and on the sidewalk, just for those who know what I'm talking about. This neighborhood around here is the Broadway Flushing neighborhood. I live about 10 blocks to the west. This has been where I grew up. I grew up in this park. I grew up in Memorial Field. I went to PS 21, which is now also in the district. This is the kind of neighborhood that I've been working to save for the 20 years I've been doing this. We've, along with the association, put this neighborhood on the National and State Register of Historic Places, 1,330 buildings. We rezoned this area with the most strict zoning, the strictest zoning in New York City, the R1-2A and R2A zonings, which I helped to co-author several years ago. And it's still not enough. It's still not enough. And there are a lot of neighborhoods like this throughout the borough, as well as throughout this district. Right now, there's a big fight in Douglaston going on. We had a press conference there last week where a 150-year-old farmhouse is threatened with demolition or severe alteration because an area that should have been landmarked almost 20 years ago with the rest of Douglas Manor has not been landmarked. These are, again, these sound like almost trivial discussions to some people, but this is the bones. This is what it's all about. It's about protecting your neighborhood. And it doesn't just deal with bricks and mortar. It also deals with education. The districts 25 and 26 have long been considered two of the best school districts in the city of New York. People move to these neighborhoods to send their kids to school in this area. So imagine my surprise when I sat in on a Community Board 7 Education Committee meeting 3 weeks ago, and I was told that Community Board, School District 25 is considered a district in need. That parents are pulling their kids out of certain schools, some of the best schools in the borough and the city. They're pulling their kids out of these schools because they are very unhappy with the direction that the Department of Education has gone on these issues. And I think it's very critical. And I've had conversations with educators, parents, even kids about what's going on. It's not just here, but it's in the whole city. So for example, what do I think should be happening? I think that the Department of Education should essentially be abolished. I was not a huge fan of the Board of Education, but at least the Board of Education gave local communities and local areas more of a say in what they needed to happen instead of a top-down decision-making process that has not benefited anybody. This is extremely disturbing, as I said, for an area that prides itself on education. These are always pushed, these neighborhoods are pushed as the best places to raise your children and grow old. It concerns me greatly as someone who's going to get married probably in the next 6 months, hopefully, and who has someone who I care about who will be going into 6th grade. It's something that I'm very concerned about. And just to let you know, we're going to keep this relatively short because it's also my parents' 50th wedding anniversary today. And so as soon as we're done with this, we have 30 people coming to the house at 4 o'clock and we have to cook. So I'm just letting, and so do they. So we have to just do that. But education's a big priority. Parks. Parks is the lifeblood of this city, more so than anybody wants to talk about. 20% of this city, 1/5 of this city, is parkland. And yet we see our parkland being abused, compromised, sold out. I've been extremely involved in Save Flushing Meadows Corona Park, a new organization that's been out there, which many people here know about. And this organization is the only one that does not want to be selling out our parkland in Flushing Meadows to big corporate entities like the USTA, Major League Soccer, and the Mets, who want to take over 50 acres of our parkland and privatize it. Okay, and that's just that park. If it can happen there, what kind of concession could come to Bound Park, for example? what could happen in Alley Park, what could happen in Crocheron Park. That's just for this district. There's a model being presented that's trying to corporatize our parks. And does anybody here know how much the city actually spends on parks of the budget? It's 1/3 of 1% of the budget for the entire city of New York, which is deplorable. It is a lack of responsibility and accountability from those people who run this government, defunding the parks to the point where there are, I believe, 17 parks people for Flushing Meadows Corona Park. And it's the largest park, I think it's the 3rd largest park in New York City. Meanwhile, Central Park has over 300. So, well, billionaires funding it as well. So this is a major issue. And in fact, in the 19th, we do have a big issue, which is that there are actually almost 100 acres of additional land that can be turned into parkland. Last year, the mayor stated that they created 750 acres of new parkland. Does anybody know how this happened? They took all the playgrounds, the school playgrounds, and designated them parks. So with one sleight of hand, they increased parkland to by 750 acres. This is a joke. We have 100 acres of undeveloped land in the 19th Council. Flushing Airport, the remaining parcels in Udall's Cove, which are still privately owned and can still be developed, which I know, as Little Neck Pines is adjacent to that, people are very concerned about this. Okay. Sorry, that's my dog. And there's another dog walking by. Yes. So these are really important issues that we have to focus on. And it's everything is local, but everything is also citywide. It's also really important to make sure that we have an agenda that focuses on the needs of this community, as well as really things that are crossing the entire city. So I think these are some of the issues that I've brought up. My good friend Peter here, I met him about a year ago. This guy, I have to tell you, he emails me or we speak probably 5 or 6 times a day. You know, that curb on 149th Street is broken. I sent in a FOIL request to the DOT. They're parking school buses and washing them in front of PS 21. What the hell is going on here? He is my eyes on the ground by default. It's amazing what he's been uncovering. So it's not just the big issues, it's everything. It's the little issues and the big issues. They all go together. I'm someone, for people who know, I'm an urban planning and historic preservation consultant. I've been doing this for 20 years, again, only from love of this community. And when we're in a situation where I think every neighborhood feels embattled by the kinds of things that are happening, we have to stand up and do something about it. So I'm going to leave it at that. Are there any questions or comments? All right then. Thank you so much.
That's the rapid problem.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.